My name is Lumiel, and this is the Bloodborne Lorethrough, where we play through Bloodborne and uncover the lore and discuss it as we come across it. In the previous episode, we started out in the Forbidden Woods and went to what I will call the upper area of the Forbidden Woods, which led to a cave, which took us back to Central Yharnam behind Yosefka's clinic, and we uncovered what was going on there. Though it opened more questions than it answered, we know that something strange was going on there, and if you want to know more, check out that episode, and we will be dealing with the ramifications moving forward. But this is the cave that took us there, and so we're heading back in to the upper area of the Forbidden Woods, continuing our journey through this very tangled, strange woods. So we came up through this residential area, or structures and houses, and here a strange guy gave us a tonsil stone, which he told us will help us if we travel to the church to the right of the Grand Cathedral, which we've been there, and we were grabbed by a great one called an amygdala, and he nearly killed us, but perhaps it will be different when we have this tonsil stone, which is a key item. I want to try to get a closer look at these, because that's pretty gruesome. The viscera hanging from their mouths. So we have the black church set. Now we have the white church set. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it says. So both sets wear these surgical gloves. The white church set, attire of special church doctors. These doctors are superiors to the black preventative hunters, hunters that killed people before they were affected by the beast scourge, and specialists in experimentally backed blood ministration and the scourge of the beast. They believe that medicine is not a means of treatment, but rather a method for research, and that some knowledge can only be obtained by exposing oneself to sickness. So they seemed pretty experimental and aggressive in the scientific pursuit of the beast scourge and blood ministration. We'll continue down. So over here is a gate and a guy waiting through it, and I believe we were meant to approach from the other side, and I don't know if it's a trap or how it would have worked. But let's see if we can sneak up on him if we don't get attacked by dogs. So yeah, that is what that does. And did it say it does not? Okay, I tried to use it too soon, is why it said it doesn't operate from this side. So I call it the upper area because there was a path heading down there, which we'll have to come back to. But let's stay on this upper area. And let's stay hugging the wall. So the dogs attacked us from over here, and we can see items inside the house to the right. And there is a snatcher. Blood vials, bloodstone shards, and tombstones. And that leads onto the rooftops. So let's check out the items in here. Beast Roar. So Beast Roar is, like the old Hunter Bone, an item that can be equipped but is not consumed upon use, meaning it uses Quicksilver bullets and has an arcane power. So these would be essentially like magical spells. So this is the force of a beast roar repels nearby foes and objects. One of the forbidden hunter tools made by irreverent Izzy. Borrow the strength of the terrible undead dark beasts, if only for a moment, to blast surrounding foes back with the force of a roaring beast. The dark beasts, as we know, were the bolt-charged beasts that Archibald was obsessed with. The indescribable sound is broadcast with the caster's own vocal cords, which begs the question, what terrible things lurk deep within the frames of men? So what it's implying is that there's something terrible inside of us already, and this is just tapping into that beast roar. And it's saying that sound came from us. So what do we have in us that allows for that? And then I believe, yeah, our only path forward is on these. There's a guy hiding behind us. And then we have some already seeing us up ahead, trying to throw Molotovs. So let's rush them. Alright. So we've cleared out the people on these rooftops, at least the few that we've been across. I can see an item down there. And if I drop down, it will kind of put us further ahead on the bottom path than where we've been, or would have been if we took the bottom path the whole way. So if I drop down to get that item, I will likely do a heavy run past people to get back to where we would have branched to come to this upper area up here. So let's find out what that item is. Because there's no means for us to get to it from down below. So the only way is to drop down. And here we have Molotov. And there's a path leading that way. Path leading this way. And the path shimmers with oil. So let's backtrack, like I said now. And watch out for anyone throwing Molotovs. And luckily, we didn't have to backtrack very far. Because here is where we split and went to the upper area. Right over here. So now, let's just deal with all the people that are chasing us. Or at least the ones who hadn't given up. He's not a care in the world. Alright, let's collect our items. Now, originally, we had come to this area from over here. And I said, watch out, because this seems quite unusual. So let's deal with him first. And see what happens when we walk on the wooden planks. And it drops us down to a pit of crows. And down here, we have an antidote. And it seems to be a bloodline pit. Now, let's go up here. There's a guy with a gun who is hiding behind the buildings. That gives us access to this building, which has nothing in it, it looks like. And then they were gathered around this fire. And is there anything behind that one? No, there is not. So we actually did not have to backtrack too far. So that whole path just kind of took us around and dropped us off just a little bit ahead. Alright, so now we have these pit monsters, which are similar to the sewer. These are also in the sewer of Central Yarnum. And if we hadn't taken the upper path, there would be people up above throwing Molotov cocktails at us, which, like I said, this shimmers with the light, showing us that there's oil in this water. And in other words, what that would just be extremely painful and dangerous Molotov cocktails. And then on this other side, we can see hunters again up above. A beast in the corner here. An item across the way. And what this does is show us a side route that we can open up, where next time, if we had to do a run back through, rather than going over there and through the pit where people are dropping Molotovs on you, you can actually just run through here. I am getting turned around though. You can just run through here and it'll bring you to the other side of the oil pit. And then up there's where we fought the beast, and here's where we saw other hunters. I use the term hunter too much, but they are all hunters. What I mean is non-unique hunters. So they're not named. They do revive when you reload an area. And let's look ahead. So up ahead we see more structures. And a path that just leads straight along here. And we see a cannon straight ahead, firing cannonballs. So what you want to do, just time your movement right. Watch out for them. And deal with the guys in these buildings. And try not to get hit by cannonballs. And whenever he sees you, he will fire again. And they are explosive. They're not just going to hit one specific area. If it hits near you, it will explode and do damage. So, not too difficult. Just keep moving. And now, just to our right is the cannon, so we will just run. Get him. So, now the cannon's ours. Not that it does much good. Boom. Real impressive. Okay. Now this brings us to a structure here. And inside, we'll go ahead and use a torch. Inside we can see that guy on the move. There's something down below. And a drop here. We don't want to drop. So let's run around this way. Go to this open window before we drop down. And we can drop, but it's not like we can get back up. So let's keep going the way that we can backtrack from first. So there's the guy over there. And there's the steps he took down. He's just standing there, so let's look out here. Okay. That's pretty gruesome. And he can grab us. And it applies poison, and it does a lot of health damage. So be careful with these guys. What was he looking at? Of course, Madman's knowledge, because it is new infernal wisdom, or eldritch wisdom, that we are seeing here, gaining access to. So there's an elevator, but we cannot access it yet. And straight through, we see the path that we want to take up over a bridge. But there was the drop down that has me curious up above. I don't know if there's anything of value, but let's just find out where it takes us. There's a beast, and there's a ladder. And like I said in the previous episode, this wood is very tangled and can be confusing. There's a lot of backtracking and a lot of nooks and crannies under places you've been. So you may want to return here, even if you feel like you've finished the area. So we found poison knives, steps up here, and then I saw an item I want to try to drop to. But as I did with the previous drop, you can't backtrack easily from there. So let's see where this leads first. You saw a person in the corner doing something. Seems to be... well, he's surrounded by corpses and perhaps feeding on another corpse.
Whoa! Blimey, don't scare me like that. On a night like this, I took you for a monster. Oh, thank the stars, you're fairly normal. Was it you who put down that awful beast? Ooh, that thing had me trembling, frozen in my boots. And then you came along. Well, if you're a hunter, then would you know of any safe havens?
I don't exactly want to send him to be near my other people that I've saved. I could tell him about Yosefka's clinic. That place is empty now. I'm just going to say I don't know.
Of course not. I should have known. This whole place is falling apart once again. It's the curse of Yharnam. Oh, you find any nice coast? Well, I'll be. Thank you. It's about time I made a move. I can't very well stay out on my own. Oh, you're giving me hope. Terribly kind of you. Take this. It's all I can offer us, thanks.
So he gave me a pungent blood cocktail, which attracts beasts. I told him about Yosefka's, which shouldn't lead him to Erden Chapel, but it's also a chance I don't really want to take.
Have you got a screw loose? Or is it your animal intuition? You hunters have got more blood on your hands.
That's a dark beast.
Die! 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 Hunters Hunters are killers, nothing less. You call me a beast? A beast? What would you know? Rancid beasts, every last one of us.
And he gave us a beast rune. So it's the second one we've had, and it temporarily boosts to transformation. And it's got the same description. It's basically another forbidden rune. It temporarily boosts, accentuates, the bearer of the beast rune has accentuated temporary transformation effects, the discovery of blood entailed, the discovery of undesirable beasts. So, telling us what we kind of already knew, which is that the discovery of blood led to the beast scourge. So let's come back in and try to drop down to get that item. A cannon. So, let's take a look. That would be a left-handed weapon. Large prototype firearms fashioned by the workshop heretics. Surprise, the powder kegs. Use of this weapon is equivalent to toting a mounted cannon, complete with its ridiculous weight, staggering kick, and lavish use of quicksilver bullets into battle. Such a monstrosity was doomed from the start, and indeed its development was cut short. Yet, against impossibly gigantic foes, it might just be the thing. So this uses 12 quicksilver bullets each time it fires. And as you know, you typically are carrying 20, which means it can fire one shot. Though you could actually get some blood bullets to gain a few more quicksilver bullet uses. Where's the path down? Do I have to drop? Well, I think I can drop right there. Okay. And then this will take us down to where we found the guy with the snake head. There was the elevator we can't go down, which means here's the main path. So, we have another snake-headed creature up above. Let's let him lunge at us. And then the snakes retreat back into him. Alright, so over this bridge, let's take a look at the area. Very hard to see anything. It's night and obscured. And then we have an area where looks like we could maybe drop, maybe survive, maybe not. We have a path forward and one back. And then through there and up here. So twin bloodstone shards. There is a body of water. And then let's see where the structure takes us. It takes us to an elevator, which leads back up. And up through here is an item and a door, which returns us to the first lamp of the area. I'll deal with the crows nearby before I start anything, because you will want to pay attention to your surrounding as you rush through there. Because there is a guy here. So he could have been used in the DLC area. He, if we joined League with him, could have helped us with the Ludwig the Holy Blade fight, which is where we got this weapon. But let's talk to him and find out what his deal is.
Ah, a new face, are you? And an accomplished hunter, it would appear. I am Valtr, master of the League. Members of the League cleanse the streets of all the filth that's spread about during the hunt. Like any half-decent hunter ought to, you know? Haven't you seen enough of these wretched beasts? Freakish slugs and mad doctors. Sentence these fiends to death with the help of your League confederates. What do you say? Why not join the League? Yes, as a hunter well should. Commit this to heart. Our own Carol rune, symbol of the League.
He gave us a Carol rune for the League that we're joining, Impurity.
The night brims with defiled scum and is permeated by their rotten stench. Just think, now you're all set to hunt and kill to your heart's content. Hunt in cooperation with your fellows, your League confederates.
So you can't really argue with him, but it's the tone and the joy of the kill that seems to be questionable.
No, there is one thing you must know. By the oath of the League, those who bear its rune will see vermin. Vermin writhe deep within all filth and are the root of man's impurity. All vermin are to be crushed. The League exists to expunge all vermin, ridding us of any trace of human corruption. And so, until we are rid of all vermin, you must continue to hunt and kill. This bloody fate is ours alone. Do not expect the world to grasp our work. But remember, the Confederates will always have my blessing, and each other. Always. The League exists, and so, until we are this blood, do not expect the world to and eat.
All right, so they hunt vermin. A centipede-like creature discovered on successful hunts by League hunters. Vermin, found hidden within filth, are only seen by League confederates and are the root of man's impurity. The League has assumed the task of finding and crushing all vermin. Perhaps there is some mercy in the madness. Those who wish to see vermin can, and those who choose to are provided with boundless purpose. So once we see them everywhere. Also, you'll note he's wearing constable clothing. If you remember, the constables were a troop of foreigners that chased a beast all the way to Yharnam, and were all killed by the beast except for one, who in turn devoured the creature whole, all by himself. And then there's somewhere else that we saw mention a beast eater. I wonder if that's Valtr. So, we can return to him. First, let's look at the impurity rune he gave us. A Carol rune that transcribes inhuman sounds. This rune, discovered inside the forbidden beast eater, came to symbolize impurity and the oath of the League. It was discovered inside the forbidden beast eater. Symbolizes impurity and the oath of the League. Confederates of the League cooperate with hunters from other worlds and hunt to discover vermin. Vermin writhe within filth and are the root of man's impurity. Crush all vermin without hesitation. It boosts max HP during co-op by 2%. So that is where we will end this episode. As you can tell, the Forbidden Woods will be long. So from here, we will take this elevator back down to where we were and take on the lower part of the Forbidden Woods. So tune in the next episode to see those, and we will explore the lower Forbidden Woods to the point where it leads us to the boss of the area, which will be its own standalone episode. So thank you for tuning in.